Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, welcome to this session. Clerk, kindly confirm there is quorum to transact today's business.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House is not quorate.
There being no quorum to commence the day's business of the day, I direct that pursuant to Standing Order 36, the quorum bell be rung for an initial 10 minutes or until such a time that quorum shall be achieved.
Now we are good.
Na kora miko nje.
Ndio inazimwa.
Digital. Creating safe spaces for women and girls.
There being quorum, clerk, let's have first order.
Order number 1, administration of vote. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, there is no communication from the chair, but as we are aware, today is an important day. It's Women's Day. And with the color and pomp with which they have entered the assembly, we know that they are quite aware of the same. And therefore, honorable members, when the time is due at the statements, we'll be able to give them space and listen to them as they contribute and other personal statements. And we will give them at least 3 minutes for each, not more than 3 minutes for those who wish to contribute. I believe that honorable members who are men are also welcome for that, and we'll regulate that time. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, I take this opportunity to give the honorable members who are women a moment to celebrate this day. And I would see it worth if we start with the ranking members as we go ahead. So we'll start with the majority whip, and then we go to chairperson women caucus, then we go to chairperson or members welfare, then we go to minority leader, and that way then the others deputy minority leader, sorry, and then that way we continue. After deputy minority leader, we will have member representing persons with disability, and then from there other members can rise as they catch the chair's eye. Thank you. Honorable Mary Kabiru, majority whip, this is your moment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Happy International Women's Day to all the women, Nyandarua County Assembly, and in Nyandarua County as a whole. I am very grateful, very excited this day. I woke up a happy woman because I realized that there were people ahead who realized that women are very important people. Very important because it is women who carry life. That in itself gives us great pleasure when we look unto the world and see that what is in the world we have helped to be, because we have created creation, just like God purposed us to do. We celebrate this day, even in this assembly, because we have realized that we have been given space. I want to say thank you even to the government of Kenya. Even though we need much more to be done about recognition of women, we want to say thank you, because it is not like our Mother's Day when women belong to the kitchen. Today we have seen many women rise. We have seen many women in positions of power. We have seen many women be able to be breadwinners even in their homes, and we are glad that we have been allowed that space. I want to say that we celebrate this day with great pride, even in the strides that we have taken, even in our county, Nyandarua. I want to thank God that I am blessed to be in this assembly at a time like this, even in my retirement age. Because it is not just another thing. We celebrate this day even to encourage those that are behind us that it is possible, that they can do it, that it is possible, that they can come even be greater women than we are already. I know there is a girl out there who has lost hope. There is a girl out there who feels very down because it doesn't look like it is going to be possible. But I want to take this chance to encourage the small girls in our villages that with God all things are possible. It only needs to be smart. It only needs to work harder. When you combine these two, the girls are going forward. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we also want to appeal even to the men that they help us recognize and celebrate this day. When I sat upstairs, many men were wondering, why are you all in flowered, very, very nice clothing? And when we told them today is our day, 90% of the men said they didn't even remember. Please, I know you have wives back at home. I know you have daughters back at home. I know you have sisters, you have aunties, you have moms. Please celebrate with them this day. I would urge the members of this honorable house who are male to please recognize this day by buying a bouquet of flowers today and take to your wife. And please tell them Happy International Women's Day. If you do that, tomorrow there will be change. And that I promise. Come and give me the testimony. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and God bless you.
A representative of women in CAF or Women Caucus, Chairperson Women Caucus.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, International Women's Day is a day to celebrate achievement made by women in society. The theme for this year is digital innovation and technology for the gender equality. Mr. Speaker, I wish to celebrate all the women in leadership for being courageous, intelligent, and hardworking, while raising our future generation at the same time. Let me start by appreciating the milestone made towards ensuring gender equality at all levels in our country. To mention a few, the Constitution of Kenya is the cornerstone as it requires gender equality to be achieved in all levels of government. Secondly, the recently reviewed Women's Fund, of which we thank His Excellency the President. However, Mr. Speaker, despite this achievement, women in Nyandarua and Kenya at the large still face problems including early marriages, lack of education, and lack of economical empowerment opportunities. Today, being an International Women's Day, Mr. Speaker, the honorable women members of this House appreciate the fact that empowerment has to start from the grassroots. We are therefore reaffirming our commitment towards providing oversight on all matters affecting women in the county, ensuring gender-responsive budgeting and collaborating with relevant authorities to ensure that the necessary policies are developed. To add my personal statement, Mr. Speaker, I wish to remind all of the women that we deserve all of the love and support accorded to us on this special day. Ladies, I am wishing you a very happy Women's Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Milka Nyambura. Now we go to Honorable Milka Wajiru, Chairperson, Members Welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And from the onset, I want to wish the women of this country and the world Happy Women's Day. It's our day. We need to celebrate. And that is why we are very, very smart, endowed in our African attire, because we are proud of who we are as women. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important day for us as a women, because we have realized that the country, especially Kenya, and through the the Kenyan Constitution 2010, this country created space for women. Today, we are celebrating the gains that we've gotten from the Kenyan 2010 Constitution, and the theme for this year is actually in line with the creation of that space, because it's saying digit for all, and then creating safe spaces for women and girls. And that is why we are standing in this assembly, very proud that we can contribute to the debate. We can make very constructive debate in the House, not only in Nyandarua County, but in entire country of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, after the 2010 Constitution, we have gained severally as women under the Constitution. One, we have women in the assemblies. Every 5 years, there are women nominated in the assemblies to achieve the two-third gender rule. For us, that is a win. Secondly, out of those women who are nominated, we also get those women who get courage and go vie for position. I am a true example of the devolution, Mr. Speaker, a true example of affirmative action. Because I came to this assembly as a specially elected MCA. And what that did was to create space for me to understand the processes of the assembly, to understand the processes of leadership, the women leadership. And out of that training and learning after 5 years, I was able to transverse from being a specially elected MCA to being a CCM in the Department of Water, heading a whole department, and eventually now going to vie and becoming an elected woman. That is the kind of space we are talking for women. How I wish that we, the women who are in this assembly, would also take this advantage, and those in other assemblies, take advantage of the spaces that we have been given. Today, you are nominated. Tomorrow, you will be somewhere. In the next assembly, we will see people elected, women elected. We will see women elected in the assemblies, in the Senate, and even in the National Assembly. As we walked in here in style, that is the statement we are making as women, that this is just the beginning. We are going further and further and further. For the first time in this country, we saw a woman vying for deputy president. That is what we want to see. Out of the spaces that have been created, women are getting more space, and we are getting into the leadership just to take part in the leadership of this country. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that Kenya is a patriarchal society where women generally have never been given space. And we agree, and we want to agree with the three scenarios, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude. The first scenario is the proverb that one wife, the one who wakes up very early in the morning, prepares the children and the husband, prepares breakfast, feeds the husband, prepares the children to go to school, then that woman prepares herself to go to work. He has done his work. That is a patriarchal woman, and we have them in our society, including us who are in this assembly. The second scenario, Mr. Speaker, is the woman in the patriarchal society. That, in a patriarchal society, for you as a woman to speak, you must be given permission by a man to speak. That is patriarchal society. And it has been happening, Mr. Speaker. And we agree. And we have said, fine, we will sit in those meetings, wait to be given that opposition. But luckily, Mr. Speaker, the 2010 Constitution came and gave women equal rights as men. Mr. Speaker, as we sit in this assembly, I have equal rights as Mheshimiwa Gathungu. We are equal in the eyes of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. So anything that happens to the men of this country, even the women of this country have that right. And that is why we are celebrating that right, that you have accommodated us as women, because you have understand we have the capacity and the capability to even transact business in this house. We want to respect you, and we want to say we are equal in the eyes of law. Happy Women's Day. And also, as I conclude, and as a mother, I wish to urge the men in this house. Today is a Women's Day. Please extend that to our wives. And you remember, women always have something in the store. You remember there was something in the store. So today, as you go home, you'll have a package to take to your wife from the women, because they had kept something for you in store, and it is the right time you get that package today. Happy Women's Day.
Wow, that is resounding. Thank you, Honorable Member.
Point of information to the House.
Yes. What is it, Honorable Juliana?
I'm so touched with Honorable Milka's contribution, but I think I must have not clearly gotten the package part in the store. I think I was born maybe in the contemporary world. I wish her to maybe enlighten me further on what that package in the store should be, because I would also want to unveil it later to my
Honorable Member, that could be a surprise, and we are alive to that. And I believe that could be a surprise, and it's in order. Honorable Sasha, leader of Minority Party, Deputy Leader of Minority Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for granting me this opportunity to make my remarks on this great day. This is the International Women's Day. This is the day that makes me who I am today. And as the theme goes for this day, that we are creating safe spaces for women and girls. I feel that I am in a very safe place. So, Mr. Speaker, International Women's Day is a day that we celebrate the gains of women, and also we highlight and create awareness on the challenges that we face as women. Personally, I have been a champion for women empowerment for a long time. I think this has been my journey in politics. This is what has brought me where I am today, because growing up, I knew a woman can do same as a man. We have the same abilities, only that we need enabling environment. And I can't insist more on the Constitution 2010. The promulgation of the Constitution 2010 gave us a space for us to express ourselves, to stand in such a house and boldly present our issues, present our thoughts, and without any castigation. And I have been in so many movements that are women focused. I have been in so many spaces where we create charters that are focused on women empowerment. And today I stand here boldly, very, very proud of the journey we have made as women. I want to applaud this house because, Mr. Speaker, we have male counterparts in this house. And there is no single day I've ever felt less of a leader because I'm a woman in this house. No single day I've felt less of a leader because I'm a young lady in this house, just because the men here are enlightened enough. They know the capability we have as leaders. They know what we can do as women, and they do not disrespect us. Even when we have divergent views, these men stand with us. Not to speak about the Speaker of this assembly, who is the uniting factor in the political arena in the House. He has managed to bring women to his corner and make them allies. Reason being, he has been supportive. He has not discriminated us on gender, issues or on gender in any agenda. And we continue to push the women agenda very boldly. And We have seen the gains. We have seen what women can do with positions of power. We have seen governors, from 3 governors in 2017, we have 7 governors now. This is where we are headed as women. This is where we are headed. When we are given such positions, as especially elected, I stand here to say that in 2027, you will be seeing more women here taking up even elected positions, taking up appointive positions in bigger offices than we are here. All because the woman has been heard, and all because we keep fighting for a better day as women. I realize that, or I recognize the effort made by fellow women, and I want to appreciate all of you in this house for the effort that you have made not to disappoint the fight to empowering the gender and to empowering the woman. You have gotten yourself out there despite the myriad of challenges. You have continued to push your agendas regardless of the challenges you face. And Mr. Speaker, sir, there are so many challenges we face as women, and not just the women here. This is about the women also in our counties, the women in other parts of the country. And today it is international because we are speaking globally also. So whoever is hearing this is a girl growing somewhere, and she needs to know that she has a space to become what she wants. She has a space, you know, to bring out what is inside her. And I want to encourage and also a bit state the challenges we face, and actually what has brought to the theme of this year's Women's Day. It is the issue of domestic violence in our families, whereby women are battered every day. Domestic violence is not just a women issue, it is a gender issue, and gender means both male and female. But we want to say that we have walked a big path with the women, because being a patriarchal society, we have seen how women have suffered in the hands of men previously, and some continue to suffer, but we are in a road to making sure that is a thing of the past. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we have issues of sexual harassment, something I've not seen in this house, and I want to applaud the men in this house again for that. They have really maintained their dignity, their ethical, qualities. It is upon all of us as stakeholders as women of Nyandarua County, we have decided to work together to support each other and to complement each other, so that the journey that we are pushing, the journey that the work that we are talking can be achieved and implemented. Thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day.
This is a moment.
And thank you, Mr. Speaker. And just as has been said, Happy Women's Day. I'm extremely excited for this opportunity to basically wish all the women in the Nyandarua County for the far we have come. I look at the mission and the theme for this, where we are saying we are achieving gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. And for me, this could not have been said better, because for us, and especially for me, as I wear 2 hats, as a woman and as a woman with disability, we realize there are so many challenges that are facing women out there, and for you to be a woman and a woman with disability is double tragedy. But the challenges are immense. There are lack of opportunities that are there. Our girls, some are not able to access education. Some of our women are not able to access opportunities, especially in the workplace. So for me, for today, is to be able to actually call upon all of us, for we are the people that are supposed to be creating these safe spaces, so that our women, our girls have opportunities to be able to actualize their abilities. There are so many abilities that are out there. So let us be able to create a safe space so that our women who are our sisters, our wives, our girlfriends, or wherever they are able to achieve what they are able to do, because there is no limitation in the capabilities that are out there. So for me today, I raise a flag for every woman, every girl with disability, and I tell them the sky is not the limit. We have opportunities. There are going to be challenges, but we are able to achieve this and be able to be the women that are going to be looked forward for us to be able to create a better space for all the Nyandaruans and for every woman in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joyce Munywa. And now the floor is open for women. But as a quick rejoinder, is that we got 3 minutes. Why we let the leaders, those are women leaders, so we had to close an eye and let them have their space. And I hope you will comply. Welcome, honorable members. Honorable Juliana Babu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to say something on this special day. I first and foremost want to commend the men who are here with us today as we make these remarks, because that is a good sign that they are good men, responsible, who value this important day, and who understand the theme, digital all. You know, it's digital, and then all is capital A, capital L, and capital L. So I want to believe that you've bought your lovely wives smartphones, and they have laptops, you know, and beautiful flat screens at home to watch you and the president once in a while, for the sake of the theme. So that is my hope, that the men we have here today as we speak have done that, Mr. Speaker. And for those who have not, kindly comply to the theme. Let's engage the women in different innovation, because the part of the theme is also involving women in innovation and creativity. I also want to appreciate the Almighty God and the Constitution of this country, which was promulgated, I think, in 2010, that gave me personally an opportunity to be an MCA in 2013, and gave me again an opportunity to be a sub-county administrator, to be a chief officer at a very youthful age. So the Constitution of Kenya is a blessing to the women of this country. It has given spaces to women who are women leaders in the parliament, who are leaders even in cabinet. I want to applaud Aisha Jumwa, who is a cabinet secretary of a very prominent ministry. I also want to appreciate today our youthful CEC, Madam Kate, and also appreciate Madam Wakerera, the CEC for education, and not forgetting Mary for finance and Agnes for trade. These are women that I personally must celebrate in this county, because they get the opportunity to serve in the executive and all jobs that previously were believed to be those of men. So without really taking a lot of time, I want to wish all the women out there a wonderful Women's Day, even to those single women who get a lot of trouble from men, that they should soldier on with their life and continue to take care of their children without any fear. And also tell the women who wish to join politics that they are also free to do that. It is not a problem being a woman. It is a problem when you believe that your gender role can hinder you from whatever you believe in. That is what I have always believed about in the issue of women. So I put myself out there as a leader and not as a woman. The only difference that I have is, you know, once in a while I have to take a break and go breastfeed a child or carry a baby for 9 months. Those are called gender roles. I don't get them as challenges, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I want to encourage all the women out there to take responsibility of their lives and their dreams. And I want to end my contribution with this quote that you're going to allow me to read this material, Mr. Speaker. I want you to imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that's diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together, we can forge women's equality. Collectively, we can. Thank you so much. Honorable Mbogo, you can buy me a bouquet of flowers today.
Honorable member,
Mr. Speaker,
I'm not sure that is in order, but maybe Honorable Bogo can confirm. Silence means he is not offended. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Maureen Mugaki, specially elected member of County Assembly from Geta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy Women's Day to all our ladies in Nyandarua and the whole country. For me, it's just a brief that every woman should know, and she is a woman of substance. And no matter the challenges that each go through, always let each of us as a lady remember that we are mother of our nation. And because the women are prayerful, I will just remind our women in the whole country and the whole world, let's continue praying for our country, our world. Let's look where our country is, our world is, the challenges that we are passing through, the demonic things that are coming in the world. Let's continue praying for our country. Happy Women's Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mugaki, Honorable Lucy Kivinji, specially elected member from Orkalau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I would love to wish the women in this house, in this county, in this country, and in the world, Happy International Women's Day. Mr. Speaker, a lot of my seniors have spoken, but there's one thing I would love to talk about, especially matter sport and women. It should be observed as much as we are talking about equality. Matter sport in the whole country, the 47 counties that we have, we've got only 2 women elected to be chairpersons in their counties. That starts with me, Honorable Lucy Kivinji, and we have got Lilian Nadudu, who is from Mombasa. So as much when you sit with 47 men, you are just the 2 of you. So, Mr. Speaker, it's also a plus for the women. You happen to sit in every committee. But again, I also applaud the country, matters that gender rule. We sit in almost every other committee. Mr. Speaker, we should encourage our girls to take leadership in sports. There is nowhere a woman can race as fast as in sport. Mr. Speaker, we have a team in Jabini, Nyandarua Starlet. There is a lady who was spotted by Carol Dadur, breastfeeding during halftime. That lady today, if she's not a millionaire, she's doing better. So it's important to encourage our girls to go out there and do what they think it's only men who can do. You should go to the next level. You should push yourself. You should not take yourself as a woman. And I'll borrow from what Juliana has said. You don't choose who you'll be born to be. You got yourself a woman. So you should take advantage of that and maybe try and achieve what you can achieve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Lucy Kivinji. It seems like women have contributed enough. As you correct yourself. And as Honorable Bogo is on the floor, but a kind request, Honorable Bogo. We have, he's gone out because we have a chairman, not for men's conference, but chairman for education, children, gender, culture, and social services. But since he is outside, please continue. Proceed, Honorable Bogo.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. I'll a little bit contribute on the same, simply because I appreciate that I was born by a woman, still living in this world. I'm married to a woman, and I am a father of 2 girls. So, in the middle of women, I'm there. What I will echo is that whenever you are joined and you attribute your issues together, you always be seen. Mr. Speaker, I'll draw them to when I'm appreciating, I'll draw them to Sustainable Development Goal number 5. That brings, and I'll read, brings aim to achieve the gender equality by ending all forms of discrimination, violence, and any harmful practice against women and girls in public and private spheres. It also calls for full participation of women in equal opportunities of leadership at all levels of political and economical decision. Mr. Speaker, you appreciate that when our women started table banking, that is only when we added young people or young kids working in tatters. I was thinking of the same when we have Madam Speaker. And I think you are now in where thank you for the wisdom, Deputy Speaker, when we give them the full throttle. Mr. Speaker, if there is a kite being, or Madam Speaker, sorry, Madam Speaker, if there is a kite being, me I know of, is a woman. Because even if you see a planned break into, or whenever something has been planned, a woman will always have a lot of mercy to the humanity. Much at times when we hear men leave their children, men dump them, men forget what they said, but it is very hard for a woman to forget. So we join you, we appreciate you, we appreciate any woman in this society, and we challenge you to even go out there in our constituents and challenge the young girls so that they can be where you are. Happy Women's Day, and most importantly, particularly it to one and only my wife, Rebecca Kamene Bogo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Honorable Gadongo, member for Lisha Upondo Ward, caught my eye. Maybe we can listen to him, and then we come to you, Honorable Jarara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And this is a special day for this assembly when we are celebrating the women, and I appreciate that sitting in that chair is a woman who also happens to come from my ward, and I equally respect her as a leader in my ward, and we have very good mutual respect as we serve the people of Lisha Upondo together. And what I would like to say is that I'm one proud man, a father of 2 daughters. I'm one man who sleeps in a women's dormitory, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I value a girl child as much as I value a boy child. Women need to be empowered. Women need to be leadership. We have seen women, the likes of Aisha Jumwa, who has moved from so many odds to become great leaders. I'm looking for a day when this assembly will front one of them to become the women rep of this county, Nyandarua County, because they are equal leaders, they have been mentored, and let us be counted when that time comes, so that we can ensure we continue empowering you, not only by the word of mouth, but by our own actions. So I wish the women happy Women's Day, and you are of great help to our lives. You realize our life is good, especially in a time like this one when I have a broken hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member from the Lisha Upondo Ward, Honorable Gadongo. It is good that I can attest we will have a woman representative from this house very soon. Going to Honorable Caroline Gerardo, specially elected member from Weru Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry. I want to thank you, everyone, especially the ladies who are seated in this assembly. You all look amazing. And actually, this is the day that was meant for us, and so we have to celebrate the day. As we celebrate the remarkable achievement of women from all walks of life, I would like to congratulate all women in this county of Nyandarua. Actually, it's a show that even as women can make it. It's only that it's not that only men who are supposed to be in leadership. And also what I would like to urge even our county and also our nation, let's stop cyberbullying for women. Every time a woman starts she want to what do I call it? To shine. You see people come online, start cyberbullying. So we should always we should be strong. We should not be stopped by such a small thing. So what I can tell you, even when it comes to elections, look at here in Nyandarua, we only have one woman, that is Honorable Wanjiru. Let's make it even next time. Let's have at least more than 10 women in this assembly. What we would like also to educate our people outside there. Even as women, even as the women, we can also be in leadership when it comes to our wards which we represent. So what I would like to tell us, to make a statement here, is that let's not be seen as if we are not equal as men. We are all equal, and what I know is, what a man can do, a woman can do better. Is that true? So let's also upgrade ourselves and also start firm, and I know we are going to make it. So what I can say, congratulations everyone, and I wish you a happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Carol. We could have Honorable Mbai from member for Gedioro Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To all incredible women, shine on not just today, but every day. Women are special, talented, simply wonderful people who makes our lives to be beautiful and enjoyable. Our heart goes out to them as we celebrate their contribution to humanity and tell them how much we appreciate and love them. Madam Speaker, I also take this opportunity to celebrate those women who do not wait to be given, but join the ring of competition without fear of any contradiction. Madam Speaker, I also celebrate those women who takes care of their husband outside there and their children without running away because of small issues. Madam Speaker, I also take the opportunity to celebrate those women in leadership, because we are here with you and we have realized that you can also do better. And it is also good to notify women outside there that sometimes men, we don't cry. We get problems, we walk home, and we don't cry. So also as we take care of you, don't forget that you are here because of us. We were created by God, and you are created out of us. So we love you so much, women. We might not be equal because there is no way head will be neck. But at the same time, you are great people. You multitask. You find already cooking with a baby on shoulders. At the same time, husband is waiting there. And I can say without fear that you are great people. We celebrate you. And finally, I also want to celebrate my dear wife outside there. Her name is Lynette. And she's a good woman too. And I celebrate her. And because there is no one requested for flowers, I offer myself to buy lunch for none other than Maria Haru today. Thank you very much and enjoy yourself.
Just a moment, our DS is before I give you the time. That is quite an impressive statement. I hope you will be kind enough to extend the invitation to us. And just as a rejoinder to the comment of Honorable Mbai, I just want to celebrate the one and only elected woman leader in this assembly. This is the Honorable Milka Wanjiru, member for Keraita Ward. We appreciate you, we value you, you're a phenomenal woman, and continue with the same spirit. Your journey is inspiring, and let every young girl look up to you. Thank you. So we can have Honorable Chegega Dirimo, member for Geta Ward, to give his contribution.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I take this opportunity to wish every woman, every female in this assembly, in this, whether honorable members and staff equally, and in this county and in this country, Happy Women's Day. Madam Speaker, much accolade has been given, and I joined the race. But for the sake of time, I wish to summarize with two women who are very important in my life. One is my mother, Eunice, who is enjoying her old age gracefully at 86 years. And I want just to give a very small story about her. We are born 12. At any one given time, 8 of us were in primary schools. And we were day scholars, so we had to go from home. And she had to wake up at 5. And as we were doing other chores like milking, preparing to take the milk to the dairy and to go to school, we had to go having fed a heavy breakfast. As you know, Geta is a very cold place and with the freezing temperatures. Actually, in the morning, if you are, I happened to once have a car that could take temperatures, and we woke up, we usually wake up in the morning at between 7 and 9 degrees Celsius. That is freezing. Those days, we had frost on the road, and we went to school without shoes, not because we wanted, but we couldn't afford. What I want to say about my mother, Eunice Wangeshi, is that she used to wake up very early in the morning, roast, amazingly. She could roast on the fire a whole bucket of potatoes. And we could take potatoes with tea without, and tea without sugar because we couldn't afford then. And we went to school in a full stomach. I am amazed at how she used, with 2 sticks, how she used to spin up the potatoes up and down until all our roasted and were good for taking. That is one. Secondly, we couldn't have money to buy sweaters. And what she used to do is that when my father's sheep were shaven, I hope it's correct, shaven, eh? Honorable Mwangi Geshoke, thank you for coming for a rescue in such situations. She could take the wool, thanks to missionaries from AIC Kijambe, who had come and trained them how to spin the wool and make the knitting wool, knitting strings, knitting thread out of them. And then she could take the green leaves, boil them, and dye them to green color. That is the color for our school uniform, for the sweater. And that is how we had our sweaters all days of our primary school. I really appreciate her at her old age, and I've always played, and God has always provided me money for a sweater when she has needed one. That's enough for my mother. Of course, she couldn't do that without my father's support, because my father could have sold out the wool instead. But that is for another day. Hopefully that we will have Men's Day. I could possibly give that story of my father, Gadirimu. The other lady is my wife, Hannah. She's amazing. She has amazing energy that she has supported me, and her extra energy, or extraordinary energy and value, I realized during my campaign time. It was hard, it was hectic and difficult, and especially when you are bottom up, like I was. And the fact that she could handle all visitors, and she managed. I truly respect for her for that, and the way she has continued taking care of us. And I tell you, if this is what women do, we have wonderful people. Finally, echoing the words of Honorable Mirka Wajiro and Carol Jarara, Honorable Carol Jarara, that what men can do, women can do better, and they should be given more spaces. I take this opportunity to invite the women of this county into quarries, into, in good number, a good third representation in timber industry, where we have not had enough of them lifting logs. Okay, we consider their gender roles, but then we also,
Mr. Speaker.
I want to encourage Honorable Madam Speaker, protect my time because I'm about to finish. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Honorable Gaderimo Chege, kindly let us give point of information?
No.
Honorable Gaderimo. Madam Speaker, I've heard Honorable Gaderimo saying that women are not in timber business. I'm a living example. I'm a timber merchant in this county. So maybe it can take another direction, matters timber. We are so many. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for that.
Thank you. What I was doing was inviting. We are not yet a third. And you know, in this country it's a crime to have less than a third in every...
Point of order.
What order, Honorable Kazongo?
Madam Speaker, I know Honorable Gadirimu, and I know his passion for women. But otherwise, I see him being a bit mischievous when he says women should join in numbers in the quarries, in the timber industry. I see he felt shy of even saying that they should join in numbers even in cattle restoring. It was mischievous, Mr. Speaker.
I think that is not well guided, Honorable Gazongo, because we are really fighting against cattle rustling.
Madam Speaker.
Continue.
Madam Speaker, as I would like women of this country who I honor greatly and respect, that they encourage their girls and their daughters and sisters, that it is not out of order to join even in the odd jobs as long as they are bringing bread on the table. And therefore, not only to look on the lucrative jobs, appointments, and those jobs that seem privileged, but also to participate in every area of economic.
And I want to really appreciate your mom. We all have mothers, some still alive, some went to be with the Lord, but they are still our mothers. They are the reason we are here. May all mothers feel celebrated for the sacrifices they have done. And may all wives feel loved, appreciated, and supported too. Let us Honorable Honorable Duncan, member for Gatimu Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today being International Day for Women, let's wish all women happy International Day. Well, in support, we all know that women are the light of the society, and without them, women, we couldn't look smart the way we are today. I also wish to extend hard to wish all women in my ward, that's the Gatimu ward, wishing them happy Women's Day, without forgetting that my loving wife, Caroline Wanjiro, for studying with me, especially that time of campaigning time. Thanks so much, Madam Speaker.
That is so encouraging. Now we can have our minority leader, Honorable James Gishuki,
yes,
member for Engineer Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I would wish to first acknowledge that you have always been beautifully and smartly dressed. But today, Madam Speaker, is exemption. The manner in which you dressed reminds us that we are Kikuyus by tradition, that there is a way our women dresses, which is good enough. We love you the way you are. And we love you in the name of Jesus Christ. So that there's no confusion. But I also would wish to really appreciate you, all of you, but allow me to deviate just a little, not because of being the members of County Assembly, not because of the high education levels that you have, not because of the great achievements that you have had, but allow me to appreciate you because of the small things that are so critical. We are fathers, most of us in this house, and I'm sure all of us have had an experience with the little ones. And sometimes you just wonder on the amazement you get by the way you handle us. So I start imagining my mother when I was only 1 day old, that fragile young little life that needs to be nurtured to the men and the women we have in this house today. That process, that alone, the fact that you are able to bring life through God, and obviously some men, some place. This is the greatest achievement I think we need to celebrate our women on. That when things are extremely thick, there's a way some few men, not the men in this house, will find a way to run away, but our women will still be there, even when things are extremely thick. And you have been able to shape our families, you've been able to shape our country, our county, and the nation at large. So we would wish to appreciate you for those little small things. When we come and get a plate of food, we don't take that for granted. We appreciate you because of that commitment. That doesn't matter how tired you are, doesn't matter what kind of work you had the whole day, you know there's that singular responsibility of feeding the nation, feeding the family, and we want to appreciate you for those little small things. But obviously, the other bigger ones, like when we have our speaker sitting as a lady, when we have our chief whip as a lady and sitting in the high levels at NEC, making decisions for the country, those are also not mean achievements, especially coming from Nyandarua. So we want to also really, really appreciate you. You are good guys, and we are looking forward to you remaining the same. And also when you also agree not to take us extremely seriously. Don't be so hard on us. Sometimes we can move a little way, kidogo. That accommodation, we also appreciate it.
What is your point of order, Honorable Juliana?
I don't understand what kidogo means. It must be a foreign language, Madam Speaker.
Maybe Honorable James Gishuki, you can maybe clarify on that. What did you mean?
I was saying that man is the strongest human being ever created in the world by God. But sometimes he can be in his weakest. At such kind of times, we appreciate you because of understanding us and moving along with us and making life just a bit easier. So we appreciate you. But most specifically, I would really wish to appreciate my late mother, Meli Geshoke. She's the greatest woman I've ever met in this world. And as she rests, I trust that we will have an opportunity to just get back to her and tell her, Mom, we succeeded. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Gishuki. We can now have upstanding is Honorable Ibrahim Maina, member for Morongaru Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We also have to appreciate that it's also, we are celebrating really an International Women's Day, you sitting as the Madam Speaker today, and we are proud for that. Madam Speaker, as we wish all the women happy International Women's Day, I would start with my honorable colleagues in this house. We as men, we appreciate and respect each and every honorable member in this house. Also, we are here because a woman somewhere has done a great work, a great job. We as elected men in this house, we appreciate all the women in this county who made us to be the elected members, because they voted for us. And that's why we also respect all the women in this house, because we have been elected by women. Also, as we celebrate this day, great day, it's also good to note women, they are our mothers. They are our loved ones. They are our daughters. And they are also our sisters. So, as we celebrate this day, I would like, on behalf of my colleagues who are elected men in this house, for going forward to continue respecting the ladies in this house, also respecting all the ladies who are not in the plenary, but in this building. They are doing great work. We cannot deny that. Madam Speaker, when I was sitting here, I was suggesting for us to celebrate this great day today. We were even supposed to change the seating matrix. And I love the way Honorable Lucy Gideji has done. He has crossed over to the other side for at least passing this great love for women today. I would urge, if allowed, our Honorable Deputy Speaker could also extend the same to go either between, sit in between the two ladies behind. And I will look for a companion for the two gentlemen behind me. And I thank you, this has been always been extended by our minority leader to Honorable Joyce. Thank you. As I sit, let me say, I appreciate this is a great Women's Day. I have a woman in the house. I have the daughters in the house. And the best thing I can do is to extend the required respect from a man to every woman. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ibrahim. And I can see Honorable Babu Juliana has already made quick steps to honoring that. So let us have Honorable Kamwana, member for Gadara Ward.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance during this great day when we are celebrating the World International Women's Day. Let me say that it is true through creation that we cannot be able to live in this world without the women. And I'm studying today to support that they should be given a chance to achieve or to endeavor to accomplish all that they can be able to do what can be done by the men. I want to say that though I have a lot of respect for the boy child, I want to say that...
Honorable members, let us consult in Lawtons.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I was saying that it is important that we give all what we can be able to give to the women to support them so that they can be able to even do better. But what I urge all the time is that because we are created differently, it is always good to understand you as women that come a what you have the laws that you can be able to do better in your capacity as women. But I want to say that it is also good for the society to recognize and to bring all the infrastructures, bring all the resources that can help women even become better. So whenever a woman will be having the moral values that we have been brought up with, and at the same time tries as much as possible maybe to be more modern woman, that is the kind of woman that I really much admire. Let me tell this house that my maternal grandfather was married to 5 women. And I happened to live most of my life in that family. And it was really a good family. May all the grandmothers rest in peace, because the last grandmother died last year. And we used to have a very good life when we are in that family. I want to say that my grandmothers went to adult education when they are at their 60 years. And you can be able to see that if they can be supported, the women, they always have the urge, they always have that crave to even become better. If you can see the 3 grandmothers of my grandfather, they went to adult education when they were at 60 years. And during their old age, they could be able to read the Bible for themselves. And when they were younger, they could call us to read the Bibles for themselves. But as we grew old, we could go to their homesteads and find themselves that they could be able to read the Bibles on their own. So any capacity, anything that can be helped to the girl child from the early childhood all through their life, it is very important. But I want to caution as I rest that it is good that you maintain the moral values, the culture that as the African we have been having. I can be able to see that most of the many registrations in this house today are very excited by the wardrobe that you have today. That today you have one better than in any other day. So how I pray that every day come in African regalia, come in long dresses like you have done today, and we'll be able to even love you even more. You'll be able to keep us in that good spirits. And as I echo my fellow colleague from engineer, that it is in Jesus Christ. Because maybe if you do it in the other fashions, you may be able to divert our moral values, which is not really good. So thank you so much. I rest there. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kamwana. I cannot see any more interest in contributing to the topic. Next order.
Order number 8, Madam Speaker, sir. There is a motion to be moved by the Honorable Milka Wanjiron Dirango, the MCA for Kirita Ward.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
Yes, Honorable Ibrahim.
I've just noted that Honorable Wajilo, she's back in the plenary.
Well noted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, this is a Women's Day, and we celebrate you when you're seated on that seat, and you're looking very good. I have a motion today. I don't know whether it is by design. I didn't know that it would come on a Women's Day, but this motion is dedicated to my mother. It is about the Lake Oroborosat, a lake that we know so well. A lake is at the verge of diminishing, and this is the only lake in the highland. I have a very special interest with that lake. It is because when I was going to school, one day, my mother was looking for school fees. So she couldn't afford 20 bob to go through Nyahururu town to my uncle who used to live in Oljorok to get some money for my school fees. So she decided to just go across the lake from my ward to Oljorok, where Akina Mheshimiwa Bogo are, just across the lake to so that she can be able to get my school fees. But my mother was saved by the herders, because as she was walking to just cross the lake when it was dry like this, she started sinking. So it is out of the help of the herders that helped her out of that lake, and that is why I have my mother Eunice Wamboi today alive. So this motion is dedicated to her, and how I wish that we may protect that lake so that even our children will have a history to tell. Today, that lake is at the verge of diminishing. What will we tell our children? What history will our children have? That lake is serving so many people downstream, and if it diminishes, then we will owe to our future generation. That is why this motion is there, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move the following motion. Aware that Lake Oborosat is the only highland lake lying 7,600 feet above sea level and below the spectacular Aberdare mountain ridges, is the only freshwater lake in central Kenya and supplies water to Thompson Falls in Nyahururu through Ewasonyiro River. Further aware that approximately 4,800 square kilometers lake is currently protected wetland, having been gazetted as a protected wetland under the Environment Conservation and Management Act of 99, MCA 99, in 2018. Appreciating the lake is home to over 300 species of birds that migrate to and from far as Europe and Asia, and over 1,000 hippopotamus that form part of the ecosystem and was marked as the 61st International Bird Area. Further appreciating that apart from the economic benefits accrued by the residents of Nyandarua, the lake supports livelihood downstream, consisting of large population of people, livestock, wildlife, downstream counties like Laikipia, Isiolo, Samburu, Garissa, And it also supports some commercial businesses around there and agricultural, tourist and domestic activities, and the two major conservancies, that is Lewa and Olpajeta. Madam Speaker, Section 3 of the County Government Act states that a county government may enter into partnership with any public or private organization in accordance with the provisions of any law relating to the public and private partnership for any work, service, or function for which it is responsible within its area of jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, in this regard, Nyandarua County Government has been in consultation with the national government and the Ministry of Tourism and Heritage on the gazettement of the Lake Olborosat. However, Madam Speaker, this has not happened, and that is why we are in this assembly to just see whether we can be able to fast-track this process, Madam Speaker. Concerned that the ecosystem service area has dwindled for approximately 10,000, from 10,000 square feet to around 2,000. Originally, it was 10,000 square feet, but currently is about 2,000. We want to protect the 2,000 that is remaining, leading to shrinking levels of water, number of birds, and the number of hippopotamus due to human activity, such as the encroachment of riparian land and destruction of the water catchment areas. Further concerned that there is very little intervention being employed to save the lake and its ecosystem, despite the lake being a large water mass that touches 7 wards, namely Kirita, that is where I come from, Gatimo, Shamata, Wanjohi, Roriye, and even one ward in Laikipia. The county, leading to the huge outcry from the public and stakeholder. Madam Speaker, you realize that there is an outcry that the lake is drying. That is why we really need to move fast so that we can save this lake. Noting that pastoralist communities have invaded the endangered lake with thousands of cattle, showing their desperation owing to the low water levels at the lake, further affecting the local residents in the 7 wards who are not spared, as they have now to cope with the worsening and situation, which is now raising an alarm. Madam Speaker, if you visit, you would realize, and you will see, you will think you are in Samburu, because there's so many cattle, there's so much. Even the hippos do not have any place to graze. That place is just soil, Madam Speaker. Therefore, this House does resolve, 1, that the Senate of Kenya consults with Kenya Wildlife Service, National Environment Management Authority, Kenya Forest Service, and the other government lead agencies, and speed up the gazettement of the Lake Oroborosat as a national reserve under the county government of Nyandarua, in order to enhance its conservation, address issues of human-wildlife conflict, create job opportunities, revenue, and provide an alternative source of livelihood to the residents. Our prayer number 2, that the Nyandarua County Government initiates consultations with the Kenya Wildlife Service as a possible partnership agreement to enable the county government fully protect it and generate revenue from this lake. And finally, that the county government does confer with the national government on the measures to be undertaken to save the lake ecosystem, and further on exploitation of resources in the lake, and also having a working formula of phased biodeposit exploration in the lake. Madam Speaker, over the past few months, you've had the outcry from within Nyandarua and without Nyandarua, and even in the entire world, that we have a very special lake that is very unique in this country. That lake is both fresh and salty. From Shamata area, where Mheshimiwa Gitau comes from, is a bit fresh. But as it goes towards the Thompson Falls, it becomes salty. This is unique in its nature. This lake also is the only lake in the highland. And Madam Speaker, you realize the importance and the beauty of that lake. Right now, we have visitors all the way from Europe, from US, from Australia. They have camped in the lake because they are doing what we are calling the bird count. They come every year to count these endangered bird species. And they are there trying to see, are they okay? Do they have the habitation areas? Madam Speaker, this lake also serves livelihood downstream. You hear of thriving hotels in Laikipia, in Meru, all the way to Ethiopia. Their source of livelihood is this lake, Madam Speaker. However, probably they have not realized the outcry because we are the conservators. And we have been speaking of the conservator payback principle. Because we are conserving the lake, we are supposed also to get something from also the downstream so that we are able to conserve the lake. But this is not happening. Out of the lake being gazetted as a natural reserve, we will have those principles in so that those of us who are conserving the lake can also get something little to do the development along our wards. Madam Speaker, the importance of this lake is also very good in Nyandarua County. Remember the Happy Valley Homes and the story of the Happy Valley Homes. You cannot talk about Nyandarua, you cannot talk about liberation of this country without talking about Mau Mau and without talking about the Happy Valley Homes. Those people had come and they have a huge history. And this lake harbors a great history for this nation. If we allow it to diminish, we are killing that history, and for sure we will not have anything to tell our children, Madam Speaker. Not only that, this lake lies between Satima Escarpment and another areas, Madam Speaker. Today, as we speak, when the lake was okay, there was butter trade. People from Shamata were coming, were bringing potatoes to this other side, to the fisheries at Kichakani, and then they would get fish and go back with the boat to their area. So they were promoting trade. Right now, that trade is not happening because even the habitation for the fish is not good, Madam Speaker. The other thing, Madam Speaker, is those words that I mentioned, there is an outcry that hippopotamus now are invading the farms. We know hippos are supposed to be within the waters, and when they come out of the water, there is a grazing land next to the water bodies where they can graze. But these hippos now, they come out of the water, and because there is no grazing land, they go to look for pastures elsewhere. So they end up getting into people's land. As we speak last year, people in my ward along the stream of the lake never harvested anything. In fact, we are appealing for food donations because the hippopotamus went to their farms, and even they have nothing actually as we speak. So, Madam Speaker, the importance of this I don't know how I can emphasize the importance of this lake. However, there is a measure, and the measure is it is gazetted as a wetland and a NEMA. Fine, that is okay. But see the scenario. We do not have powers maybe to fence, the county government does not have powers to fence that lake. That is why you find cattle from Saburu, Isiolo, all over the country now are camping there. Tell me, can those cattle get to Aberdare Forest? They cannot, because Aberdare Forest is protected and it is gazetted. But because this lake is just a bare land, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will come. And that is why we do not have grazing pastures. That is why we don't have pastures for our hippos. So therefore, we are appealing to the Senate and to every stakeholders. Hear our cry as the County Assembly of Nyandarua. Now we have taken it upon ourselves. It is the high time we protect this lake. One of the things that we have to do is to protect it under MCA, not under MCA, under Wildlife Management Act. Because once we protect it, it will be a protected area. We'll have even guards who will be guarding. So those livestock will
as the mover is putting it very well, people from all over the country, from Isiolo, from Samburu, it is now a shed. What the lake is facing, or the ecosystem rather, overgrazing has made it sure that there is nothing that is remaining. In fact, we are not saying that it is facing or it is just about to be extinct. There is nothing remaining in Lake Orobosan. As we are speaking, people are driving from Nyandarua Central to Kasuku in between or crisscrossing the lake. So we are not facing the challenge of it being extinct. It is normal. In the year 2015, the lake was gazetted as a protected area. I don't know what happened. And in the year 2019, World Wetland Day was celebrated in there, a place called Karandi, down Kasuku town. It was celebrated there. I remember very well because I was still representing the area. The then Minister for Environment came, Najib Balala. It was gazetted again. But after gazetting in 2015 and regazetting as a protected area, nothing has ever happened. As the mover is putting it, if we want to protect that area, there are some measures that we need to do. The first one being petitioning the Senate anywhere, because the budget of Nyandarua County cannot be able to fence that lake. Madam Speaker, desilting is needed in the lake. Moving them that are within the Orborosat or other relocation is required. Fencing is required. The amount of resources that will be drawn in coming up or repairing back to what we used to have as the ecosystem is too much. So we are urging, we as members surrounding the lake and even Nyandarua County, I know it is one of the agendas of our governor, that the national government can come in where it is going to assist in coming up with fencing, and it can be a source of resources to our county. When you go to Kisumu, just next to the sea, you are going to get an animal orphanage that is there. Anywhere we pay. When you go to Lewa, people of Narok are benefiting from the same. But we as Nyandarua, we don't benefit from the naturally given creation or ecosystem be given by God. Human-animal conflict. As we are speaking today, we are having Adaikano, Karo Jarara, because we reside from the same area. She can attest. There's a woman who was grossly killed by people from Isiolo, because we are now not facing human-animal conflict. We are facing human conflict. Anywhere people from Samburu, because they are fighting for the pasture, they go fight, they even cut the leg of a woman, barely naked. We are contributing for the same, but actually she was saved. We are still trying ways and means of getting her back. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, if that ecosystem is not saved from extinct, if given an opportunity of continuation of what we are having for the next 1 year, then we are going to have Lake Orobosan as history that ever existed. People are very busy now. They are subdividing. As we are speaking, investors, and I will not call them investors because those are wrongs, they have started fencing in the lake, down there, and even creating polders. Polders are dikes that are usually created at the comeback of the rain and the comeback of water. Water will not come. So they are even creating big fences inside the remaining. The acreage that was mentioned by the mover, that is where they are creating dikes and polders to make sure now they protect the lake to be fair. Animals are very funny. When hippos don't get pasture around the lake, they will still come. There was a day they came up to the Tarmac Road. They moved for 9 kilometers to Kasuku town. And it is evident if they don't get pasture in the lake, they will come. So I would be supporting the motion and urging the government of Nyandarua combined with the government of the national government to see to it that we come up with measures of rehabilitating the ecosystem, because the biodiversity that is in there is facing extinct. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Mbogo. That is a good analogy and stories that are really happening.
Oh. Eish.
So I now propose the question on the motion as moved by Honorable Milka Wanjiru and seconded by Honorable Mbogo. I now put the question. May all of a similar opinion. Sorry, we are in the learning process. So, sorry.
Madam Speaker,
I'm so
please.
sorry, I didn't catch your. Honorable Karo.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I understand some of us are still in the mood of learning, but also I would like to echo the words, the motion by my senior, that is Honorable Wanjiru and Honorable Mbogo. But also I think there are some of the things that also, with the help of the national government and that of County Assembly of Nyandarua, that we need to do. We need to create like a Lake or Bolsat tree zone. The way we did the way we have Nyayo T zone, which saved our forest from destruction. This will be a belt of about 5 million trees, all around the lake, protecting it from encroachment and reversing the effect of climate change. We also need to engage school children in creating this tree zone where they will learn important life lessons on environment conservation, that is. There are more than about, there was a time we did a survey and we saw there are about or more than 20 schools, which surrounds the Lake Bolsat, the Lake Bolsat basin. And that are about 600 children within that school, and the youth as well. Give each school a grant to set up a tree nursery. Twice a year, we do a massive tree planting campaign. We can also introduce the book for one tree, an incentive program that will reward every participating school for the number of trees that survives each year. I know that one can be done, Madam Speaker, and so we could like to urge the national government and the Senate and now the county government of Nyandarua to come together so that at least we try and save our Lake Bolsat. I was there, and actually it's very sad to see that the lake that was doing very well, right now you walk like 20 kilometers and you cannot see even a single place where even the kettles can get water for drinking. So thank you, Honorable Wanjiru, for moving such a nice and a good motion, and we are going to support this. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Karo. Honorable Mbai.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I take this opportunity first to appreciate and congratulate Honorable Milka for bringing this such a motion at this time where we as Nyandarua County, we are about to lose the very important lake and the only lake in central Kenya, as I believe. Madam Speaker, this motion could even be passed like yesterday, not even now, because as we are speaking, the lake is dying. And next few years to come, we will just be talking about the history of that lake. I also take this opportunity to appreciate my Honorable Akaro for bringing such an idea of planting trees. And as a chairman of Water, Climate Change and Natural Resources, I will try to find the way, and we'll sit down with the relevant team. Honorable Ajiro will also be is part of our committee. We try to see how we can engage the government as well to see if we can get support of how we can be able to mobilize communities surrounding that place, the schools, students, and other stakeholders, and see whether we can be able to plant not even more than, if possible, 1 million trees, because that is the only other way we can be able to save that lake. The other thing we can do is to ensure that, if possible, we plant trees close near those riparian lands. The river banks, stream, so that because at the same time the lake is get water from the source of river, like we have rivers like I think we have some river like Amazoniro that is giving that lake water. The other thing need to be solved, the issue need to be solved in a quick way. I do believe is the issue of those land grabbers. I call them land grabbers because they know very well that the land belong to the lake, and they are going without a blink of an eye, trying to subdivide that land and con people in the name of maybe giving them or selling to them. So I call upon the government again to ensure that what belongs to the lake belong to the lake. But at the same time, because I do believe there is so many communities around within that lake who are given the land illegally without their knowledge long time ago, there should be at least a decorum of ensuring that they are removed in a good way, so that we should, at the same time, we avoid the conflict within with the community. But those right now who are trying to go and plant, try to subdivide the lake land should be stopped with immediate effect, according to me. Finally, Madam Speaker, I forgot something when I was celebrating Women's Day. If you allow me for a second, allow me to celebrate the only member of parliament the only women member of parliament in Nyandarua County, my member of parliament, Honorable Ajiko Moya. And
I think
What
the
is your
honorable-
point, Honorable Mary?
I think the honorable member for Gidioro is out of order by saying we have only one member of parliament. Actually, we have two. One member of parliament for Kipipiri, another member of parliament for Nyandarua County. Thank you.
Maybe Honorable Mbai, you can take note of that.
yes, I take note of that. And what I believe, I celebrate both. But one position will be there for women all times. But for the member of parliament of Kipipiri, that is a competition zone with men. So I celebrate her in a special way. At the same time, I celebrate my women rep, Honorable Faith Werimugitau, without also forgetting women of Gedioro Ward in a big way. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mbai. I think I want to give a chance to maybe Honorable Denji, because he has not spoken. Kindly, we will get your space. Honorable Denji, member for Rurie Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I want kindly, before I comment about the Lake Orborosat, to also take this opportunity to commend and to congratulate all the ladies of integrity, mostly from this County Assembly for the much they have been doing for us. They are good people, and we value them. They have taken a good direction, and they have made us to be a bit far, especially the time we were looking for a speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to comment about Lake or Brosat. We just in the border, and I'm one of the bordering wards. My ward borders the lake or Brosat. And it's worrying that now we are losing the facility, which is the only major facility we have in Nyandarua County, because of our carelessness, I call it so. Madam Speaker, if you get to know that scientifically, after the drying of this lake, the water table will just move down. There before, sometimes back, tourists used to come in the area, and they used to promote those schools that are neighboring the lake. There were many activities that were taking place, like duck shooting. And after shooting the duck, those whites or those tourists used to come with some projects which were benefiting the residents of those areas. Madam Speaker, by protecting this lake, we also protect our people. Most of the residents from that area, they are dying of hunger, which are being caused by the invasion of those hippopotamus from the sea. I would rather suggest that the county government, in conjunction with the national government, may come up with a better idea or formula which can be used, either the method of contours, so that they can identify the size and the borders of that lake. Madam Speaker, with an opinion which can be taken by saying they are encroachers. Some of those people bought lands legally, and they were transferred legally. And now they are even less than 500 meters away from the lake, which is very serious, their lives. Or rather, if they have not lost their life, some of those residents are living in medication. Madam Speaker, I would also like to remind the relevant authority that there have been various claims from the residents, and they have never been met. For sure, Madam Speaker, what I wish to say, it's important to protect the lake, and we should also remember that this facility was meant for human beings, so that we can gain from it. But we should not be losing life, starvation caused by unanimously grazing in that area. We may look as if we have lost the way. If we are not bewitched, Madam Speaker, that lake should be protected to be the benefit of the residents of Lorie. Madam Speaker, I pray to rest there, but I also want, before I sit down, to remind ladies, my own father had 7 wives. 7 wives. So he had valued wives more than anything else. I'm born from a polygamous family, and we value ladies most. Thank you, Madam Speaker, sir. Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Benji, for that. I also want to extend this to Honorable Matimo. He had not spoken today. And then
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for I've caught your eye. I really appreciate that opportunity. And from the onset, Madam Speaker, this being an International Women's Day, I would request for your indulgence, Madam Speaker, sir, to really congratulate, and I would wish to start with the women in our assembly today, both seated in this house, those who are not together with us, even together with the staff that work within the premises of our assembly. I would wish to wish them a happy International Women's Day. And your indulgence, Madam Speaker, I would wish also to extend the same to my loving mother at home, both my biological mother and my mother-in-law, and also to the First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, and our Second Lady, Madam Dorcas Regade, that God may continue guiding all of you. There's never a nation without women. You are the most important aspect in any society. On the issue that is at hand, Madam Speaker, sir, about the Lake Olbolosat. Madam Speaker, thank you. The issue at hand on the issue about Lake Olbolosat, Madam Speaker, if you visit that lake today, you'll be surprised to learn that whatever Honorable Milka is talking about, and the motion that she has brought to this House today, is a very important issue. That if we are not careful, we shall be saying that there was a lake in Central Province called Lake Olbolosat, because it will be distinct. Madam Speaker, sir, Madam Speaker, I have just learned that when from the onset, the area that was under Lake Olbolosat was 43.3 square kilometers, a very huge acreage. But today, as we speak, from what has come up very, very strongly, is that we're having a very small area that is undercover. And if you're not careful, we shall come back to this House to say that we don't have a lake anymore. Madam Speaker, a few years back, the chairman of the National Land Commission, who by then was Mohammed Swazuri, under Section 10, 11, and 12 of the Land Act 2012, declared that all title deeds of those people who were given, or those people who had demarcated lands within this within the area of Lake Olbolosat, stood resolved. I don't know whether the same was followed up. I don't know whether the same was followed up. But I think from what we are hearing today is those very the land within, and I think it has come very well from Honorable Mbogo, who comes from the area. But we're having even people who are going even deeper to the lake to encroach more land, which is very sad. I believe through the assistance of our national government, the registrar who, because I believe we have a land registry in Nyandarua, we can have the same implemented, because it's something that was passed and it was agreed upon that anyone who has a title deed within the wetland area, the title should be revoked and dissolved. I believe the same should be followed up, and we should ensure through whichever means that we are going to use to ensure that this area is protected. Madam Speaker, I have been surprised to learn that this very lake has a river, and I believe most of us we know of Ewasonyiro River. But during my small research this morning, I've just come to realize that
we have a buffalo spring just around Nyahururu that is commonly referred to as Manguo. Manguo is the Kikuyu word for buffalo, for hippos. From there we have another swamp called Lorian Swamp from the same river. And from that particular point, Madam Speaker, the river goes underground only to emerge in Somalia, where it joins the Juba River. I think this is something that can be of great tourist attraction, to see the source of this river that allows water to flow through a river called the Wasonyiro, which goes underground and only to emerge in Somalia. I was trying to look at which are some of the causes, or what are the reasons as to why we are having this problem of lake Olbosat shrinking and drying up. And I really thank Honorable Milka, because she has come up very, very strongly on some of the reasons. And just to put some emphasis on them, Madam Speaker, one of the main reasons is the human activities around the lake. And I believe we have a way out. If we can do exactly what was done in Aberdare, if we can do what was done in Mount Kenya, and in other conservancy area, Madam Speaker, we shall be safe. What we just need is to ensure that there's a fence around the lake. What we need to do is what Honorable Njarara has just mentioned, planting trees around the lake. We have, to a very great extent, people abstracting the water from the lake. We have that issue of overgrazing. You see, right now, the only place that you can get some greener pastures is around the lake. You find herds of animals grazing just next to the lake. And we expect that later in the night, hippos, which are the natural habitats of this lake, will also get food from the same vegetation around the lake. If they don't have anything to eat, automatically they will get out of their land and they will graze from the pieces of land around the lake. Madam Speaker, I would wish to bring it to your attention that not once have I been called by the residents of this area that there are hippos around our homes. There's a hippo that has actually even refused, because once a hippo has a wood, it doesn't get back to the water. It stays in the land until at that particular time it gets healed. And you see, these are an animal that can harm. Just a few years back, we buried someone from Rorie village, where Honorable Zenji represents, out of being attacked by a hippo. The only remedy is fencing the lake to ensure that we don't have that human-animal conflict. Also, the issue that has come up from Honorable Mbogo is on encroachment of the area. I think the same. If we can degazette the titles that has already been issued to some of the residents who live around the lake, I believe we shall have gone a long way to ensure that the ecosystem around this lake is well protected. The other one, this one goes now to the national government, desilting. One of the reasons as to why now we are having a very small coverage of the lake with water is desilting. We have a lot of mud, a lot of soil that covers this lake at this particular moment. Madam Speaker, I really support that the same should go to all government systems to ensure that we protect this lake by all means that is within our means. Let's save Lake Olbosat. Thank you.
Thank you. We can have Honorable Kamwana followed by Honorable Ibra in that order, kindly.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, once again. And I wish this morning, we are in the afternoon, not really. We are in the afternoon, yes, or we are in the morning. Okay, thank you so much for that collection. I want to say that I want to really support the motion, and I also want to really congratulate the mover, my senior Honorable Ajiro from Kreita. But what I really know is that such issues or such debates has ever happened in this house before, and elsewhere in the national parliament, or in other seminars, in other workshops that has been done all over the country, and more specifically that we are done to address the issues of the electoral Bolsat and its ecosystem, and to a larger extent the other biodiversity that happen all over the country and in the world at large. But let me say this, Madam Speaker, that the only problem we have in Kenya is that we don't have a good culture to fulfill or to really implement the laws that we do or the undertakings that we are supposed to do. And let me say, Madam Speaker, is that we do not have the willpower to do what we are supposed to do as the representative of the people that usually elect us. Let me say that not unless we have a date that we want to change, not unless we have the time that we want to start changing the situations that we have, let me say to this Honorable House, there will never come a time that we really have the solutions. I want to say this, Madam Speaker, that it is in Kenya that where we make very good laws, we do very good papers, and we really know what we do, the problems that we have, we really know them. The only problem we have is the way to solve them, and more importantly is where I'm saying that we don't have the willpower, we don't have the culture that we need to change so that we can be able to change the situations. Like the situation we have in the country at the moment is that we are living in hunger. The government of the day, be it the national government or the county government, is that we don't have solutions for our people who are sleeping hungry. Now we want to do supplementary budgets, we want to ask money from donors to come and feed our communities. Wherever we know very well that the ripple effects that we are feeling at the moment, if we had solutions, let's say 20 years ago, if we are able to address the issues of the climate change many years back, what we could be having at the moment is that we could be having food in abundance. I want to tell this House, as I want to conclude, that not unless we have a starting date, and how I propose, Madam Speaker, this date should be even put or should be enacted in this August House of the Nyandarua County, whereby in our capacity as the County Assembly, how I wish we could be able to set aside a day or two to address the issue of climate change, and more importantly, the ecosystem that we live in our county. I'm proposing that before even enjoying the executive, that is the government of Nyandarua County, as the assembly, we need to start something that can be seen to address the issues of climate change. And it is when we do this, we be more even maybe to have a priority. And how I propose that we can have the RIC or Bolsat as our case study, whereby we want to start to change these things. Let me say, even I'm not very happy with the compound that we are living in as the county assembly. If you look at the landscape that we have, we'll be able to see that no one can come here and say that we are in Nyandarua. Most probably he would say that we are in Laikipia or in Wajir, where we have now the hot deserts. What we need to do is a few things. We set aside a day where we can be able to come and plant as many trees as possible, where we can come and be able to plant other bushes, other herbs that can be able to beautify our landscape, that is our compound, and more importantly, it will be able to change the air that we breathe and all the other things that come with the vegetation. I'm proposing that, or let me say before I propose, Madam Speaker, is that it is not a wonder if we can be able to ask ourselves today, we move to our homesteads, go to our chambers, we as honorable members, and we'll be able to assess the vegetation that we have at our chambers. You'll be very worried. You cannot come here as a honorable member, knowing what we are undergoing, and you are not doing something. But I want to set an example. You can set the Committee of Environment, led by my honorable member, to come at my place. This is the garden that you are going to find as many indigenous species as possible. The babu trees are there, the unguandu, the Prunus africana, and all those trees, you are going to find them. Because I want to set an example that we need to do something. I'm proposing that we can even have a fund in this county assembly. We set aside some money, and we can also go to a notch higher, and we contribute something as members of the assembly to assist rebuild the ecosystem around Lake Olbolsat. I'll be the first one. If we are going to have such a fund, I'm going to set aside my personal money so that I can be able to put something in that kitty so that we can be able to move out immediately and be able to be seen to start doing something. We can be able to rabbi as much as we can. As the Honorable Steve was saying, we well know that the Abad area has been fenced, but the good chunk or the big chunk of money that did that project did not come from the local sources. We had the Rhino Arc that was doing the fencing. You know, it was an international NGO. It was a support from the donors, but it is not because we cannot be able to do it locally, but it's because we do not get our priorities, we do not do our finances, we do not do our budgeting as it should be. But I'm saying the bad thing that we have is that we do not have the willpower, we do not have the culture to change the situations that we are in. I want to rest there, as I want to see something be done by this honorable house as we go to other people to tell them to help us rebuild the Lake Olbolsat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Kamwana. Honorable Ibrahim.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I like to support the motion before us that we have to save Lake Olbolsat. In fact, I'm not contributing a lot, but I start to urge the executive, led by His Excellency the Governor. We are boasting of having the only lake in the central Kenya, but we are not going a notch higher. This is the right time. We are supposed to have a campaign, a vigorous campaign that save Lake Olbolsat, so that we are able also to get funds to fence the lake. People may have been enjoying the floods. I'm told, I think this is the 61st international bird area. They gain from enjoying what is in the Lake Olbolsat. What are they doing to save Lake Olbolsat? This is the right time. If they can enjoy to gazette as an international bird area, how can they assist us also to fence this lake? You can imagine it's the only lake in the central province. If you go to the other lakes within the other provinces, you may not be able to enter without controlled management. So I support this motion so that we can also have the wildlife manage this lake, so that we also save the nature of this lake. As a ILST in this county, we are complaining that we don't have also employment of our young people. It has already been explored that in Lake Olbrosat is where we can have, out of the lake deposits, this is where we have the resources that can bring up the organic fertilizers in the organic fertilizer in this county. As we look for desilting of lake deposits, it's also the high time of this county to look whether the partner with buy deposits organic fertilizer companies, so that we are also able to sell organic fertilizer, which is required in this county more than the other fertilizer. So it's also a high time for the executive to wake up and look for alternatives or utilizing what is within our lake, especially this time where the silting is required. Should they either partner with already existing companies, those who are doing the biodeposits, fertilizers, so that we are also, they can even lease these companies and we create employment for young and our unemployed young ones within this county. And I rest my case by supporting this motion to the Senate, so that we should, even from today, have a campaign for safe Lake Olbrosat. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you, Honorable. Right, now we can have, let us go with the Honorable Chege Gadirimo, member for Getaward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. International Women's Day, I offer this chance to Honorable Esther.
Thank you for being kind and recognizing that, Honorable Esther, specially elected member.
Point of order. Is the member in order to give direction while, Madam Speaker, you are seated on your chair, offering a chance, not overlooking your position as the Speaker of the day?
Point of clarification, Madam Speaker. To the
let me first
point
of
of
all-
information to the House. Is also my honorable member colleague aware that we are respecting the International Women's Day?
I think I will still give the Honorable Deputy Speaker this opportunity to make the contribution, but this is rightfully after we respect and we honor the woman, Honorable Esther.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would first of all like to thank our Honorable DS for donating this chance to me and sacrificing in giving me the chance to contribute first and then he contributes later. So thank you, Honorable Gadirimo. First of all, I wish to stand in support of this motion, and I wish also to congratulate the mover, who is Honorable Milka Wajiro. In fact, this motion has come at a time that is very timely, if I may say. Lake Olbrosat is the only lake that we have here in central Kenya, and seeing it diminishing, we don't feel good. We feel it's something negative that is happening to us. But what I think is that in any negativity, there is a positivity. In diminishing of this lake,
there are some few things that can be done, which, for example, what Honorable Ibrahim has said, there are some organic deposits in this lake, which we can take advantage of at this particular time. In desilting the lake, we can, Madam Speaker, there is somebody here who is trying to distract me from what I was trying to say. In fact, I was trying to say that as this lake has dried right now, we can desilt it and get these organic deposits, which can be used as fertilizers or organic fertilizers, which is very good in farming. Again, what is affecting this lake is a negative effect of climate change. And in this negative effect of climate change, we as humans are the ones who have contributed in it so much. How have we contributed in negative climate change and hence the drying up of this lake Bolsat? One, it is our human activities like farming. We have gone to irrigation farming so much that we get attracted to this nearer to the banks of the lake, and thereby attracting so many negative things like human and animal conflicting, whereby you find hippopotamus or other animals killing people who borders the lake. So I stand in support of protecting this lake. I stand in support of desilting this lake. I stand in support of using this lake as a source of organic incomes or organic deposits of fertilizer. So there are so many things that we can get positive from this lake. So I would urge the government, though there are some NGOs who are willing to go and rehabilitate this lake in some ways, such like planting of water-friendly trees. And I don't know what happened later because this never happened. So if the government of the day can now go ahead and plant these water-friendly trees near this lake, fence the lake, we can stop human-animal conflicting, we can stop this encroaching, and the lake can go back to its normal or Bolosat that we used to know in previous years. While I was in school, in fact, I used to school somewhere near the lake. I was in Ahiti, Nyahururu, which bordered the lake. So I know the lake, how it was previously. It was a very good place that we could even go sight viewing. It was very beautiful, if I may say. And after rehabilitating this lake, we should not do things the way we have always been doing it. This is what we call traditional thinking. We should deviate from that. And for example, in Lake Nakuru, if anyone wishes to go and visit Lake Nakuru, there are mechanisms or ways or systems that are put in place such that whenever you go there, unatoa kitu. You'll pay an entrance fee or even something else that you may. There are some hotels there where you can go have fun, go eat, thereby the county getting some revenue. So I would also request or urge that the same should happen to our lake or Bolosat, such that anyone from anywhere can go visit or go have fun there, go view our birds and our hippopotamuses, and Nyandarua will get something from that. So I stand in support of that motion. And not only in Lake Olborosat, our wetlands, our water catchments are also facing the same problem. So as we rehabilitate Lake Olborosat, I would also urge that some policies be made so that we can protect our water catchments, our rivers, our dams, our waterfalls, because we have so many in Nyandarua. Our water catchments should be protected. They should be saved. We should practice some activities that will not take us to these negative climate change effects. We have seen what has happened to us. This prolonged drought is an effect of such. So I stand in support of this motion. And as I support this, today being the International Women's Day, I would like to congratulate and applaud every woman, starting with my mother, Anastasia Wangari, who brought me up as a single mother. She brought me up in a manner that I believe if I was brought up by a man solely, the way my mother brought me up solely, maybe I could not be the person I am today. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of every woman who has ever given birth.
Order, Madam Speaker. Is the member, is Honorable Esther in order to insinuate that single fathers don't take good care of their children? I am a witness of one single father in my area and who has taken care of his children after his wife was killed in the ethnic clashes that were affected us in 2008. And it is not in order. It is good to appreciate the single mothers, but equally, single fathers are equal to the task. And owing that, having no tangible evidence to say that a single father would have not given her the kind of life she has, I think it is disrespect to the men and the single fathers of this nation. And I seek your indulgence for her to withdraw and apologize to the fathers and men
Point
of
of
this
information.
Let me first of all rule on the order. I'll request you, Honorable Lester, knowing that both parents play a very critical role to the upbringing of their children. Maybe you can withdraw and apologize, and also maybe rephrase, because I know you meant well.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I didn't mean that men cannot bring up their children single-handedly well. What I meant is that I don't know whether if I was brought up by a single man, I could be the person I am today. So I don't mean that they can't. Maybe they can, but very few can.
Honorable, kindly just withdraw and apologize, and just let the matter rest.
Okay. I withdraw, and I strongly believe that single women bring up their children very well, and that's why I would like to appreciate every woman, wherever she is, whether married or single. That does not mean that men are not equal to their tasks. I know they are. I would also wish to appreciate all the women in this house. Nyinyi ni wamama wa nguvu. And
point of order.
What is your point of order, Honorable Mary?
Madam Speaker, there is a language we didn't understand, and since it is directed to women, I think we need to understand what she meant by the mama.
Yes, again, we come back to you, Honorable Esther.
I meant...
You lost Honorable Mary somewhere along the way.
Okay. Honorable Mary, you are a strong woman. That is what I mean. Women in Nyandarua County, women in Kenya, thumbs up. Yes, I appreciate you all, and I pray that God may give us many more years to bring up our children, and to love our husbands, whoever has one. I pray that whoever doesn't have may get one also. And to turn this country into a better nation in the world also, because I know in leadership we are very much capable.
Point of
and we can go far. So I appreciate all women,
Information to who, Honorable
including
Bench?
myself. Thank you, Madam
To
Speaker.
Honorable Member, Madam Speaker, I wanted to remind this House that there is no single lady who brings up a child alone. Madam Speaker, sorry. I want to remind the Honorable Speaker, MCA, that behind every successive woman, there must be a man. So there is no single woman that did the process of bringing the child up. There must be a man somewhere for that success.
I want to give Honorable Esther this chance to respond to that statement.
Circumstances may make a woman single, and in case a man dies or a family separates or there is a divorce, that does not mean that a woman is not capable of bringing up her children alone or single-handed. We have seen many. I'm a product of a single mother. I was brought up by a single mom. Yes, I know. And so many of us here in this house, we are children from single families, especially single mothers' families. So I know they can without men. And I don't advocate that going forward, we bring our children single. We as women, I advocate that, or I pray that the family line continues with both parents, that is the father and the mother. That's the happiness of the family. So I believe and I know and I'm a witness that a woman without a man can bring up her children very well and make them people or good people in this republic or in the society. So I believe now you start guided.
Thank you.
And now I call the mover. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Before you call the mover, we had already scheduled the Honorable.
Sorry. Thank you, Honorable Gadirimo. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want just to make a few comments in support of the motion we have today. It's a very important motion, and it has not come a better time like now. The only motion in the order paper brought up by a woman, honorable member, and in a Women's Day, I congratulate her for that. It is not only coincidental, but very, very monumental. Madam Speaker, this motion is very important and must be taken with the importance that it takes. It requires. Madam Speaker, what this motion seeks are just 3 interventions. And one is that the Senate of Kenya consult with the Kenya Wildlife National Environmental Management Authority, Kenya Forest Service, and other government lead agencies and speed up the gazettement of Lake Oloborosat as a national reserve under the county government of Nyandarua in order to enhance its conservation, address issues of human-wildlife conflict, create job opportunities, revenue, and provide an alternative source of livelihood to the residents. Madam Speaker, as an assembly, led by the mover of this motion, we have done our part. And I believe Senate is up to the task. What I would urge is that the committee in charge of this, which I believe honorable member, the mover of this motion, belongs to that committee, should follow up closely after we pass this motion so that this will be expedited immediately. Because If the gazettement is what will trigger the national government or the departments in the ministries in the national government to act, then the gazettement is urgent. Secretary, Madam Speaker, is that the Nyandarua County government initiates consultation with Kenya Wildlife. I believe we are the oversight body of this county, and we have done the representation part of it because we represent the people of this county. By moving this motion, we have done the representation. And now the oversight should be done. We should be able to know when the government, the Nyandarua County government, through the department of the county government also confer with the national government on the measures to be undertaken to save Ouroborosat. I think the committee in charge should. We went for validation of the report on social and environmental conflict impact concerning the Ihithe-Dunyujeru road. And we had the opponents of this road, those who do not want this road made, because animals will die. Where are they now that the animals and the birds are dying in Lake Ouroborosat? Where are they? If they are not hypocrites, if they are not benefiting illegally through activities maybe done at the Upper Dare Forest, that is why they don't want the road made, because the road will expose them. The road will have CCTV, and they will be the activities will be exposed. Where are they? If they are advocating for the animals, where are they? Where are the Save Elephants? Where are the green advocates? Drinking, you are preaching, just to clarify that they don't mean what they say they are. They're just there either to get funding from outside, because they don't mean what they say. If they meant to conserve, if they meant to advocate for protection of the wildlife, they should be there at the Lake Ouroborosat, not preventing, not opposing of the already existing Ihithe-Dunyujeru road. That is what I mean. They should be where we are having an environmental danger of extinction. That is the Lake Ouroborosat. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I wish that I wish to support this motion and to call the mover to respond. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now, our mover.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And first, I wish to appreciate the members for those immense contribution. And I know we have a great secretariat and that has taken those serious issues that has been discussed by the members. So I really appreciate all your contribution. I can see the passion that you're having in saving our only lake. How I wish we continue with this spirit. To all the stakeholders, we pray that we hold hands together as Nyandarua County so that we save our only lake. Only two issues, Madam Speaker, is one, that we need an assembly square at the lake. That process had been started. If we could only take over and have an assembly square at the lake where we can start now the conservation activities. And on the other one is that our people may be worried that they will be sent away. We are not saying this. We are saying that there are people who have genuine title deeds, and those ones are there to remain. However, we have those who are getting into the waters. Those are the ones that we want removed because they can see this is water mass and they are building inside the lake. Those others, including myself probably, we are next to the lake and our lands are very genuine. But there are those people getting into the lake as we speak, and you find a post right inside the lake. These are the people we are condemning with the strongest terms possible, and these are the people who are making us suffer because they are entering the grazing lands for the hippo, and hippos are coming to our farm, those of us who have genuine titles. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank every member, and I move. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question, which is that the Senate of Kenya consult with the Kenya Wildlife Service, National Environmental Management Authority, Kenya Forest Service, and other government-led agencies, and speed up the gazettement of Lake Arboresat as a national reserve under the county government of Nyandarua in order to enhance its conservation, address issues of human-wildlife conflict, create job opportunities, revenue, and provide an alternative source of livelihood to the residents. That the Nyandarua County government initiates consultations with the Kenya Wildlife Service on a possible partnership agreement to enable the county government to fully protect it and generate revenue from Lake Arboresat, and that the county government does confer with the national government on the measures to be undertaken to save the Lake Arboresat ecosystem, and further on the exploitation of the resources in the lake, and also have a working formula for phased biodeposit exploration at the lake. As many as of the similar opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay, and the ayes have it. Clerk, next.
Speaker, point of information. Point of information.
What is it, Honorable Mirka Wanjiru?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I just want to inform the House that today's women celebration is happening in my ward. I am already informed that the women rep is already at site, and she has invited the women members of the assembly so that we can celebrate that together, bearing in mind that Kirita ward is the only ward that elected a woman. So karibuni nyote Kirita. Thank you.
Honorable Member, could you confirm that men are also invited? Or it's a women affair? We agree.
No, it's not a women affair. The he for she are invited too.
Thank you for clarification, Honorable Member. Next order, clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the business of this sitting as appearing on the paper has been exhausted.
March 2023 at 2:30 p.m.